Hey guys, it's your girl, SIMPLEFX, your favorite female trader, back with another day in the life vlog for you guys. Today, I do have a treat. This video is going to be a treat for you all today. It's going to be something that I haven't shown you guys ever on my channel. Kind of a different type of day in the life, but day in the life still nonetheless. Get comfortable, get cozy, grab your favorite blanket, grab your favorite popcorn, cozy up, put the kids to sleep, and I need your undivided attention in this video of what I'm going to be talking about with this day in the life. What we're going to be doing today, well, wait, before I get into that, currently, right now, with my broker Hanko Trade, we're doing a 300% deposit bonus. So, oh, that's a big speed bump. Oh. So, if you don't know, now you know. Huge deposit bonus going on right now for a limited time. Limited time. So, if you are interested and are looking to triple your profit potential and your leverage, go ahead and use the link in the description box below. Make sure it is under my affiliate link, because if it's not under my link, you won't be able to get the bonus. So make sure you have your account open under my affiliate link and you make at least $100 deposit into your account so that you can be eligible to get the bonus. A 300% bonus is unheard of. It's huge, and it's only available through your girl. So make sure you take advantage of that. Okay, now let's get into the fun of what this video is going to be about. Today, I'm going to take you guys on a trip, a field trip, a road trip, if you will. I'm going to let you guys see all the, well, not all, but 3 or maybe 4, we'll see, 3 to 4 of my past jobs that I had before I became a full-time trader. I'm going to give you guys some story times. I'm going to give you guys a lot of insight on, on the job, on, what I was doing, what my experience was like, and my final moments of being a police officer before I finally left that line of work and decided to, be a full-time entrepreneur. All right. So we're going to have some fun. We're going to get really in depth with the information that I'm going to give you. I hope it's inspiring. I hope it gives you guys a lot of insight on the fact that you're not alone in where you are. Those of you that have, jobs that you don't like, jobs that you're just holding on to until you, really find your footing with whatever it is you want to do. Just to give you a little bit of motivation, to keep you going, keep you motivated, keep you inspired, and to give you guys kind of a flashback of what I had to go through and what I came out of to get me to where I am today. So I think that's going to be very, very interesting. So I'm picking up my camera person right now, and then we're going to head over to the first job that I'm going to talk to you guys about. And like I said, I have some story times to go with it, because what fun would it be without a couple story times to go along with some of these crazy jobs, right? So we're going to talk about that today, and we're going to head over there right now, and it's going to be interesting. So I'm going to see you guys at the very first job site. Okay, so we are at an airport right now. It's called North Perry Airport. I used to work here. I'm not going to talk about dates, because it's all a blur to me right now. All the different dates and how long I've had the jobs and stuff like that. It's been a minute. So I want to say, I'll give you guys like a ballpark that this was probably around 2012 to right before 2015, I would say. So I got this job, and my job title was a banner maker. I created banners. Now, when I got the job, I was the only female. There was 3 guys, and I was the only female, and I was probably the only female they probably ever hired. I think that's what the manager had told me at the time. But he really liked my interview. He really liked who I was in the interview, so he hired me. Now, these planes right here are the planes that would fly out. They would fly out into the sky, and they would carry banners on the back of them. Now, today, I don't know if they're flying today, but if they are, I'll try to get you guys some shots of the planes coming down. But this is my first time seeing them parked over here. They used to park them inside that hangar right over there. And if you guys look closely, you guys can see, you know, all the hangars, all the planes. So I'll get a little closer so you guys can see. So yeah, this was our hangar right here. This is where, inside there is where we would actually make the banners. And the banners are pretty big. They were pretty big. And I see now they got a tour helicopter spot there that they're probably renting from this place. But if you guys look, you'll see these where all the planes were. Now, if we turn this way here, so come in every morning. I got paid $12 an hour. $12 an hour, come in here, park right around here. So these are all the pilots. These is where all the pilots would park, and the hangars was all inside there. So let me see if I can get in the front, because I don't even know if I'm allowed to be here right now, but these are all the pilots. And this right here is where, you know, you entrance and all that kind of stuff, all through here. And this is where the boss used to park every morning, right here. She used to drive her Porsche in here every single morning, a little Porsche convertible, and put her car there. So I'm going to drive back around and see. I don't know if they're flying today. I don't see too much action going on today. I used to work from, I think I was off Monday and Tuesday. I was off Mondays and Tuesdays, and we used to work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And our busiest days was Saturday and Sunday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Those were our busy days. If I needed a day off or I just wanted to hang out and enjoy a weekend, forget it. I never got the weekends. I was always busy. And my boss, y'all, was just, he was a good guy. He was a good guy, but I think he was bipolar. I think he was bipolar because he, like, you never knew what mood he was in when he came in every day. You never knew what mood. Actually, I'm going to park over here. You never knew what mood he was in. And one day he'd be so nice and, hey, good morning, what's going on? How's your day? This and that. All right, we got this many banners to make today. This and that, all that. And then other days you would come in and he wouldn't even talk to you. He wouldn't even talk to you. So I'm going to drive around to where all the action is, basically. I'm going to drive there and we'll park and I'll see if there's going to be any taking off or anything like that there. That way you guys can see. So yeah, you never knew what mood he was in, and it was very hot and cold with him. Older guy, older gentleman. I forget what nationality he was. He wasn't American. I think he was, I don't know, I don't remember. But hot and cold dude. But anyway, let me give you guys a little rundown of the job and all that kind of stuff so we can move on to the next one. So I got this job, and I started the job out at $12 an hour, which was probably the most I made in a job in a long time. Nowadays, it seems crazy. You can't even live off that. But back then, yeah, $12 an hour was a lot to me. And we got paid every week. We got paid every week, every Thursday. And it was a divorced couple that owned the business. It was a husband and wife, ex-husband and wife. And the husband was just, oh my God, like insufferable, completely insufferable. You couldn't talk to him. He was just a brute, very angry, very mean, very domineering, small guy. But sometimes when I saw him, I didn't even talk to him. I would just say hi and keep it pushing. Like, I never got his attention. I never tried to mingle with him, nothing, because he was just not a nice guy. And if you think about it, us as the banner makers, we were actually like bottom of the totem pole inside the company, right? You had the owners, you had the pilots, and you had the mechanic guys, and then you had us. And it was good. We all had fun together. But it was a very profitable business for them because they flew banners. One of the banners that they flew, or one of the contracts that they had, was with, I'm going to park right here. This is where we used to enter in at. If you look right here, this gate right here where it says do not enter, we actually used to, this is where we used to come inside. We had the key for the lock, and we used to come inside, and you see those poles over there. I don't know if it's, you guys can tell, but there's some poles all the way down there. And those poles are where we used to draw the line so the pilot can see the rope, so he can grab it. So I'm gonna back up here just in case. I don't see the truck. We used to be on a truck every morning with the banners, and the banners were huge, guys. The banners were big as hell. Like, I'm talking like 8, 10, 12 foot letters that we all had to put together and everything. And you had to make sure you got the spelling right and all of that. So when I got this job, I was, like I said earlier, I was the only female on the job. But I held my own. I held my own because it was very heavy. The weights and the letters are very, very heavy. We worked from, I want to say 10 in the morning to about 6 o'clock at night every day. Sometimes the boss was there, sometimes they weren't. On the busy days, like when we had banners for, like, we had contracts with Club Live. We had a contract with Geico. Geico's contract alone, and it was just a banner that said Geico. It was huge. It was like a 40-foot banner, 40 by like 35-foot banner. And all it said was Geico. And that contract alone was $3 million a year for the company. And we used to fly it, I think, 3 days a week, 3 or 4 days a week. We used to fly it at a certain time every day. And they got $3 million from that. So I think Club Live's contract, and these are all numbers that I would just overhear. This is not stuff that I knew. It's stuff that I overheard them talking about. And I was like, wow, like, you're getting all that money. And I don't even think the pilots were making that much. But they were getting a ton of money just from flying banners. And then we would get the personal banners. We had the corporate banners for the companies. And then we had the personal banners. So we had banners of people like, you know, if a guy says, I want to fly, will you marry me, you know, across the sky? Will you marry me, Ashley? Right? So we did the banner. It would be like $25 a letter. I think to fly it was like $300 or $350 or something like that. So it was expensive. You know, it would cost you a pretty penny to do something like that. They had to get the address right to know what coordinates and, you know, get what time they wanted, because you had to pass it right on time. So we had to make sure everything was spelled properly, that we got the banners out there on time, and that the pilot could take it. And once the pilot comes down, swing down, they drop their hook. So this is how it works. We build the banner. We lay the banner out all across the grass, all the way out. So it would say, like, will you marry me, all the way down. We would build the banner inside the hangar, truck it on out here in the 100-degree weather every day, lay it all out. And then that's where my supervisor would actually walk and check the letters to make sure we got the spellings right, everything was right. Because there was some times that they went out and they were not spelled properly. A name was off, a letter was missing, like, and it was nuts. It was crazy. And if you messed up, it was bad. You were going to get chewed out. So we, you know, I always made sure that, you know, we set everything out, you know, properly. And it's difficult sometimes because when you're building the banner, you're building it backwards. You're not building it like A, B, C, D. You're building it from the back forward. So that's what made it difficult. And then we would bring it out here. The pilots would take them out. And whenever we had busy days, I mean, if we had the schedule, we would get scheduled every morning. And we would know which banner is going out at what time, which pilot, everything. And everything was down to the wire. If it said that this banner had to be up in the sky at 3:11, it had to be up in the sky. There was no delays. There's no this. There's none of that. So everything was very meticulous. And it was a very difficult job because it was more heavy lifting than anything. The letters were heavy. We had to pick them up. And then when the pilots were done flying them and they would come back in, because we had a schedule knowing when they would come back, because every flight had to be gone for a certain amount of time. So it'd be gone for an hour, some for 2 hours, some for 3. The longer the flight, the more money the company made. And the longer we had to work, because we have pilots coming and dropping, and the same pilot that's dropping a banner could be picking one up right after. So he would literally just fly around and we would have to make sure that banner is out, put that rope up and get it out there for him to come pick it up and leave. And it was rough. It was a lot of running. I was dark as hell because I was out here in the sun every day working. Never had weekends to myself. I would be dead tired when I got off every day. I would be exhausted. Come home, take a shower, go right to sleep. And that was it. And it was I mean, it was a different type of job, but it was a job. You know, I didn't have to sell anything because I was used to sales jobs. I didn't have to, I didn't have nobody breathing down my neck. I didn't have to dress up every day, and I didn't live that far either. I lived like a couple minutes away. The only thing that sucked though was I didn't have a car. At the time, I did not have a car, so I actually used to walk to work and then one day I bought a scooter. I went to Toys R Us. I took one of my paychecks and I bought a $200 scooter, and I was riding that to work every day. And it was so funny. Everybody would make fun of me, but I didn't care because, you know, I was trying to make my way. I was trying to, you know, make $1 and do it for myself, and it was cool, you know. And I stayed at this job for probably 2 or 3 years. I got one raise. I was making $13 an hour when I left. And it was cool. It was a cool job. I don't miss it. I definitely don't miss it at all. But it definitely kept me in shape. So, yeah, this is one of the jobs that I had, guys. I was a banner maker, making $12 an hour, trying to make ends meet. Yeah, and this is one of the jobs that built a lot of character for sure in me. And what's funny is, after I left the job, my supervisor ended up asking me out, which is crazy. I'm just like looking at my phone like, what? Is this who I think it is? And then he's like, yeah, you want to go get dinner one of these days? Let's hang out. It's been a while. I haven't seen you in a while. And the whole time I'm like, yeah, no. Because I think I was, 22, 23 at the time. I was very young, way younger than I am now. And he was like in his 50s, like 40s, 50s at the time. And I was like, hell nah, like, you're old. I'm not going out with you. And I used to work with you, and there were some days where you were an asshole. So I'm not, hell nah. So yeah, I let him down nicely. But yeah. So that's story time number 1 for you guys when it comes to this job number 1 that I had from before. I don't see any of the planes doing anything. I don't know if business is slow or what's going on today. But I mean, it's summertime. Everybody's out, so they should have been working today, but I don't really see anything happening. So can't get the action to show you guys exactly what we had to do every day. But every time because I still live in this area, so every time I drive by here, I think about when I used to work here. Without fail, every single time I drive by here, I look over it and I'm like, man, and sometimes I would drive by and see them out there working, and I've been looking, I'm just like, man, I remember those days. I remember it. So that's job number 1. Let's head over to job number 2, story time with that. And that's gonna be interesting. So let's head over to job number 2. Okay, so this job, all right, this story time is gonna be very, very interesting. I don't know how I was here for a while, and this job, I think I was getting $8.50 an hour. Yeah, like $8.50 an hour, which, wow, crazy. Anyway, I don't want to go inside because I don't know what's there. I don't know. Should we knock? Like I should knock. I should knock on the door. I don't know. Oh, it's locked. It's locked. Ugh. Okay, so this job was called SIPA filter, and SIPA stands for Child Internet Protection Act. And basically what that is when we were in school, right, middle school, high school, and we had computer classes, they were filters for the internet. So students that were trying to get on porno sites, trying to get on gaming sites, social media sites, things that we weren't supposed to be using at school, those filters would keep us from being able to access those things. So this is one of, or it was here, one of the companies that offered the program. So every year, the government would give hundreds of thousands of dollars out to these schools, and the schools could take that money and give it to whatever computer filter company they wanted. So we were one of the companies, and we would call. So my job basically was like a salesperson. So I would call the schools. I would say, hey, good morning, how you doing? Can I please speak to your technology director? And we had a whole script. I used to hate it, all that. And it wasn't a one-step thing. You had to talk to the technology directors, and then you had to get them to demo your product, to test it out, and they had to install it. So we had to send them out like free samples. They would hook it up to their system, try it out for a month, 2 months, 3 months, see how they liked it. And if they liked it, then they would call us back and say, hey, okay, we want to go on with you guys. We want to, give you guys, okay, we have a 1-year contract, 2-year, 3-year contract. And these contracts were for maybe $25,000 a year, $18,000 a year. It would kind of change here and there. But we always knew how much money the government was giving each and every one of these schools. So we knew how much they had to spend. So we would hit the schools with whatever price that we knew they had. That's the price we would give them. And we wanted to make it so that they couldn't try out another company. Because let's say the government gave them $30,000 and we sell them our filter for $20,000. Now they're left with $10,000, and they could, maybe there's another company that might offer them one for $5,000, $8,000, $10,000. Now they could try out a different company. Now let's say they try that other company out and they like their filter more than our filter. Now they're going to probably ditch us and go with that other company. Now that other company is going to get the rest of that money for the next year and the year after that. So we would try to get them on 2-year, 3-year contracts, and we knew that money was guaranteed. And even though we would get contracts and we would close deals, we only got paid $8.50 an hour. And I think if one of our deals closed and we would sign up somebody for a couple of years, they only gave us like $100, $250 bonus, one-time deal, and yeah, that was it. That was all the money that we made. So yeah, I wish I could show you guys, but inside here, so it's a big ass office space. There's a bathroom in the back of the office, and then it's all cubicles. There was a bunch of cubicles kind of set up, and you had your own space. So, and we would work every day from 8 in the morning to 3, 8 to 3, right around the school hours. And there was like, I don't know, maybe 8 of us in there. It wasn't much. It was about eight of us that were working in there. People from all walks of life, all of that. And my boss, yeah, we're going to talk about my boss in a minute. But yeah, this was a job. I hated it. I hated coming here every day. It was chill. It was chill though, but it was cool. So a means to an end. But yeah, this was one of the jobs that I had, guys. Like I said, I wish I could show you guys inside, let you guys see what it looks like in there, but no such luck. I know the company is not there anymore. The company is still open, but it's not at this location anymore. So they probably went somewhere else. The owner of the company is this guy. His name was Alan. Older, English-speaking guy, British, I think. And he was a millionaire. He owned real estate. He owned other companies. And he would come in here and he'd be on his boat. He owned a lot of boats. So he would be on his boat all the time. He would come into the office every once in a while, and he'd be in like Hawaiian shorts, and he would be come in with his shirt, like a button down, like a Hawaiian shirt, chest hair all out, come in with sunglasses up, this and that, and say hello to everybody. He was a very nice guy. He would come in, say hello to everybody, pull up with his big old truck, and yeah, he was a cool dude. I mean, he knew how to make money for sure, but he had businesses that were very hands-off businesses, which is what I liked about him. Whenever we would have meetings and he would come to the actual meetings and talk to us, he was very inspiring with the way he talked and his insight on business and things like that. So I got a lot of insight from him, and it was his son that was actually running the company. So he was out on his boats doing what he does, and his son was actually the one running everything. So yeah, so let's hop out here. So let's hop back in the car and I'll give you the story time about my boss. Okay, so story time about my boss that I had here. His name was Joe. Same kind of boss like my last other job that I showed y'all. Very hot and cold guy. Kind of a perv because he would hit on me a lot when I came into the office. But kind of a cool dude, but he had a lot of demons. So, but he was a good guy because I remember, I told him that when I got the job, I said, I told him I didn't have a car. I didn't have a car to get here every day. So, he actually offered to pick me up every day because he didn't live far from where I lived at the time. So he told me that my house was on his way to come into the office every day. So he's like, I don't mind picking you up. Now, I was a little nervous because I had just met him. I didn't really know him too well, but I really needed a job and he gave it to me. And this guy was offering me a ride to get to my job every day because I really didn't know how I was going to get here. I was going to try to figure something out. So, and it's not far from where I lived at the time, but it's not close enough for walking distance. So I would have to catch the bus and different things like that until I saved up to get a car. So, so he would pick me up every morning to come to work. So during the time that we would ride to work, and he would take me home every day too. So we would talk. And he told me that he had been arrested and he went to prison and he spent 11 years in prison. And he told me what he did. He said that he claims he didn't do it, but everybody says that, right? But he said that he got into it with his ex-wife and supposedly she got him arrested because she said that he kidnapped her, like held her against her will, and essayed her also. And he was like, it was consensual, we got into a fight, whatever, and then we ended up messing around, whatever. And then next thing I know, she's at the hospital telling the nurses that, I essayed her. And next thing he knows, he has cops knocking on his door. So went to trial. She testified. They believed her. And he ended up, I think his sentence was for 15 years. And he did 11 years because for good behavior. He got out early for good behavior. So he said in 11 years, he never got any visits. Nobody cared about him. Nobody, nothing. He had dealt with drug abuse here and there. And he had 2 daughters that he hadn't seen since he got arrested for years. And even after he got out of jail, he still didn't see them. So anyway, long story short, when he got out of jail, his now wife, the wife that he was with at the time when I knew him, she picked him up from prison when he got out, gave him a place to stay, helped him get back on his feet. And they had known each other from childhood. And they kind of stayed friends. And I guess he got in touch with her and she was there to help him out. And they ended up getting together, getting married. And, they were together for, I think, 4 or 5 years, 6 years, something like that. So long story short, I met her one time. She came into the office one day. We were having some pizza party or something. And she came by. She was, mingling with everybody and saying hello. Tiny little Italian lady, older, 100 pounds soaking wet, tiny, tiny little thing. Sweetest little person you ever want to meet. Smaller than me even, right? So anyway, fast forward like 2 or 3 years. Fast forward. And there was a guy that I was dating at the time who, he didn't work for Fyntura. He didn't work for the company, but they had subleased a space out of the office. They were working out of a separate section in the office. And so we would mingle with each other. They were an insurance company. And I ended up leaving the company. I don't remember what job I left this job for, but I ended up leaving the company, going somewhere else. But me and him were still dating, still messing around. So he hit me up one day and I had stopped messing around with him. But he would text me every now and again, ask me how I'm doing. Do I want to, go out to eat, go do whatever. He was a great cook, great guy, but he was an older guy. He wasn't really my type. I wasn't really into him like that, but it was cool. But he hits me up out the blue one day. I think it was, he sent me the link on Facebook, but I'm never on Facebook, so I never saw it. And he had texted me like months later, like just checking in, saying what's up. And he mentioned it to me. He's like, hey, Charlene, did you hear about what happened to Joe? And I said, no, what happened? And he sent me the link again, but he sent it to me via text this time. And it was a link of him getting arrested for murder. And who did he murder? Yeah, that tiny little Italian lady. Yeah, his wife that picked him up and helped him on his feet when he got out of prison. That lady, the one he married, that lady, he killed her. And I'm reading the article and now I'm like, oh my God, what happened? This and that. So I'm reading the article and I'm going on YouTube and I'm just like, what the hell? And I look, and so apparently he fell back into his drug abuse issues. I don't know if it was cocaine or heroin. It wasn't anything little. It was a heavy drug. So I remember in the office sometimes he had some questionable people coming in there and he flipped out one day. He had some guy came in there one day when the owner was there. And the guy came in and you could tell this guy was a druggie. Like you could tell, like he looked strung out. He looked raggedy. Oh my God, this guy had no business being in the office. And he came in there and I could tell this guy was up to no good. And Joe seen him like standing in the doorway and he lost it. What are you doing here? I told you not to meet me here. Da, 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 da. But apparently that was his supplier or whoever he was, whatever. And his wife like found out, and his wife dealt with drug abuse as well. They both had drug issues, but she was staying clean and doing what she had to do. He fell back into it. So apparently what the article said was that she ended up kicking him out because he was on drugs. He wasn't, he lost his job. He wasn't working anymore, wasn't paying no bills, wasn't doing shit, on drugs, and she wasn't having it. So she kicked him out and she was trying to file for divorce. And he was on the streets for a while. And next thing I knew, he came to the house, asked her if he could just take a shower. He just needed someone to take a shower. So she, being the kind-hearted person that she was, let him in, let him take a shower, but like, hey, this is all you're doing. Take a shower, and then you got to get back out. You got to be out of here. And apparently they got into a fight in the house. He wouldn't leave, and he ended up stabbing her in the neck with a knife. She fell on the ground in the kitchen floor, bled out, and he actually took her, and this is what the article said. He took her, stuffed her into a garbage bag, and drove her out to a landfill. Went home, cleaned up the mess, and then went to the casino to play poker because he was a big gambler. He used to love gambling. I actually went to the casino with him a few times because I'm a big gambler. I love blackjack and I love poker. So he's like, oh, you like this? I like this. Okay, cool. So some days, some weekends, he called me up. Hey, what you doing? Nothing. All right, let's hit the casino. All right, cool. $120 and just go have fun. So I knew he liked to gamble. And yeah, he went to the casino and because they got him on video, like at the casino, at the tables, like nothing happened. Like nothing happened. So she spoke to her mom every single day. She spoke to her mom every day, and her mom would tell her, leave that guy alone. He's bad news. He's not doing anything for you. Get rid of him. So she knew about the issues that they were having. And the one day, the mom is calling and she's like, hey, I haven't heard from my daughter. Where's she at? We can't get a hold of her. And he's like, oh, she went for a walk. I don't know. She went for a walk and, I don't know. And her mom didn't even know that they were back together. She was like, oh, are you guys, back together? Because she didn't tell me that. He goes, well, we've been working things out. And, I spent the night with her and, it's giving all types of lies, all types of bullshit. But the mom still had a bad feeling. And she called the cops. And she said, hey, I haven't heard from my daughter. It's only been a day, but, I talk to her every day. Her estranged, soon-to-be ex-husband is back in her life, back in the house. And now I can't get a hold of her. And I don't know what's going on. Can we do a welfare check or something like that? And she didn't work either. She didn't work. She was on disability. So it's not like she went to work and, something happened to her. She was always home playing with her cats, talking to her neighbors. Would say that she was always outside gardening, always doing something. So it's not like her to just disappear and not let anybody know where she was at. And the police talked to him. And I actually saw the interrogation video on YouTube. They had the video on YouTube and I watched it. And I'm like, that's Joe. That's totally Joe. That's so him, And he was nonchalant about it. I didn't know you guys talking about. I didn't see her. She went for a walk. She let me in the house to take a shower, long, and then I don't know what happened, but he ended up confessing to it at a Chick-fil-A. He ended up confessing to it at a Chick-fil-A. Ended up telling them where to find her body, everything. And he thought I don't know if he thought he was going to get off. I don't know what, because the video, it looks like he thought the cops were his friend. Like they were sitting at a Chick-fil-A drinking milkshakes and eating chicken nuggets and shit, just talking. And he's like, yeah, man, I don't know what happened. I just lost control and I ended up stabbing her. I stabbed her and, you know, I cleaned up the mess though. I cleaned it up, you know, and I don't know what happened. And I guess I was strung out. I don't know. And he ended up confessing to it. And you can see the cops or the detectives walking out of the Chick-fil-A with him. And then that's when they're like putting him in handcuffs and they're, you know, all that. And he's looking surprised like, oh, come on, really? Really, man? What are you doing? I mean, we talked about this. Like, I'm like, what the hell, bro? You just confessed to murder. What's wrong with you? Like, cops are not your friend, you know? So anyways, guys, yeah, he's in jail. I keep checking online to see, like, did he get life? Did he get off? There's something, you know, and I can't find anything on the outcome of his case. And this was maybe, I want to say maybe 4 or 5 years ago now that this all happened. So I have a feeling he went to jail. I have a feeling he went to prison and he's probably going to do life, you know, because you murdered somebody. He was in his 50s, I think, at the time. Repeat offender, just got out of prison before that, you know, for doing something to his previous wife. And now he kills the next one, you know, so it doesn't really add up. So, yeah, he's probably in prison right now for the rest of his life. And that's that. So crazy, crazy story time. Let me tell you guys. I told you guys this video was going to be a treat. So, yeah, that's the story of this job. This is job number 2. I don't think we're going to do 4. I think we're going to keep it to 3. So we're going to head over to the last and final job. And you guys probably already know what job that is, right? Police, right? We're going to head over there and I'll give you guys a story time on how I ended up leaving that job and what my last day on the job was like. So let's head over there right now. All right, this is the grand finale, I guess. We are in downtown Miami. This is it right here. The Miami Police Department. So I'm gonna pull up and see if I can park real quick. Bringing back old memories. Yep, this is Police Department. Courthouse right across the street. Right there. Miami Police Department. Old stomping grounds. And that's where the academy was, inside that building right there. Pretty cool. All right.
Yeah, but you can't say nothing. You can't say nothing, Joe.
This was the last walk. Came down this walkway right here, and that was it. Had my folder in my hand. Done. So let me show you guys exactly where I was, where I made the decision to finally call it quits. Let's go. So I'm gonna take you guys to the exact spot, like I just said, but it's every time I come down here, it's a little nostalgic for me because, so a lot of people get the impression that I hated this job. I didn't, you know, like it very much. I didn't hate this job. It wasn't even the job that I didn't like. It was the people that I was working with that made the job much, much harder than it needed to be. So I was a cop for 6 years, 6.5 years, just over. I've been out of the job now. This will be my third year since leaving the job. Do I miss it? No, I don't technically miss having a job. No, absolutely not. I would never miss a job. But do I miss some aspects of the job? Yes, I do. Even though you have to, because being a cop, it's kind of a negative job in a way and positive, because you only get called when something's happening, something bad, somebody's hurt, somebody's about to get hurt, something is about to go down and they need help right away. So that's the negative. But the positive is when you get to help somebody, you get to do something nice, and you get to help people. And I love helping people. So that will never be, a negative on my list. However, it was a dangerous job because you're putting your life at risk every single day. You're putting your safety at risk every day. They can train you as much, as possible and everything, but a lot of things are out of your hands. So it's very, very difficult job. Why did I turn down this street? I know there's always traffic over here. I'm gonna have to take a different route. Even though I'm not going very far, I'm gonna have to take a different route. But anyway, I'm gonna take you guys to, before I take you guys to the exact spot where I made the decision to leave, I'm gonna give you guys a little story time while we're sitting in this traffic to give you a little background. So I had made the decision to leave earlier than I actually left and actually did. What happened was, so this is the whole story. I woke up one day to go to work, and I think I was on the morning shift. I don't remember, but I was on the morning shift, and early morning shift starts at 6 a.m. So I get up and I got to work late, so I was able to come into work a little bit later than usual. You're supposed to have your radio on per policy on your way to work and from work also. I almost never did that. Sometimes I did, for the most part, I didn't. So that day, I should have had my radio on because I didn't. Because when I got to work, there was a big scene going on, perimeters, all types of stuff going on. And by perimeter, I mean there's something happened and they have an officer like on every street, every corner, every street, flooding. All the units are coming out, dogs are coming out. It's a madhouse, okay? And that morning, it was a downpour. It was raining like nobody's business that day. So I get to work, and as soon as I turn on my radio, I hear the commotion. I hear, okay, so an officer had gotten knocked the hell out by some homeless person, knocked his ass out, and he had to get rushed to the hospital. So then everybody converges, and they're looking for this person that assaulted the officer. Couldn't find him. Supposedly it's a homeless guy who they always have an issue with, and they're looking for him. So they got perimeter going on, everything. Officer assaulted, he fell down, bumped his head pretty bad, and all that. So I get there, and immediately, as soon as I check in the radio, the dispatcher places me on a perimeter, on a street corner. So I get on my rain gear, I got my raincoat on, I get out there, and even with the raincoat, you still got soaked because it was pouring. It was a downpour that day. So I'm pissed. First off, I'm pissed because I was at work. I didn't want to go to work that day, hence why I came in late. Secondly, it was pouring rain. Even worse, like it's horrible working in rainy weather because everything you do is outside. You got to get outside your car for everything. You can't sit in your car for everything. So you got to get out, which means you got to get wet. It sucks. And then when you get wet, you got that icky wet dog smell that sticks to you, that outside smell. And I hate that. And it's just annoying. Third of all, I had just got my hair done. So my hair was, forget it. That was done. Even with the rain stuff on, it was a mess. So anyway, we were on that perimeter, I want to say maybe about 3 hours. About 3 hours. Because I remember we were done around like noon or 1, something like that. It was a pretty long time. And they didn't even find the guy. Supposedly the dog scent led them to a river, and he must have jumped in the river or something, because they never, ended up finding the guy that day. So that day I was pissed. And then they always do a debrief. After a big scene, something happens, all the supervisors, all the brass that comes out there, they all get together and they bring all the officers together when they break everything down, and they do a debrief of everything that happened. They, talk some shit or whatever that nobody cares to hear about, and then they send you on your way. So I'm like, man, F this debrief. It's freaking pouring out here. And then they're all standing out there in the rain, like no umbrellas, no nothing. And if you dare rip out an umbrella, it's almost disrespectful almost to do that. So you just got to just stand there and take it. And they're just talking. And I'm like, yo, we don't give a shit about none of this. We didn't find the guy. The officer was okay. He bumped his head, but he's all right. Nobody died. Let us get on about our business. So I was livid that day. I was just like, yo, why am I here? Why am I here right now? What am I doing here? Why am I here? So I'm in my car. They finally let us go. I get back in my car and I'm soaked. I am soaked from head to toe. And I'm pissed off. I'm just like, yo, I want to get the hell up out of here. I'm done. I was so done that day. Nobody even did anything to me. It was just the job that day just got to me. And by that time I was profitable. I was making money. I was doing my thing. I was good, So there was really no reason for me to stay, but I had to get other things in line and plan for me to really secure things. So it was like a hit or miss for me. It looks so different down here now. Wow. So this building was not here. Wow. So I get in the car. I don't check back in, because you can check back in, and once you check back in, what do? They start giving you calls, because when the city is locked down like that and all the officers are on a perimeter, what happens is all the other calls that are coming in, all of those get backlogged, and they're all just sitting there holding and waiting. So the second you check in, them dispatchers, they're sending us out. They're sending us out. And it's like, damn, we got to call the call. We got to clear the screen, get to these people. So I get in my car and I don't check in right away. I'm like, nah, I'm going to take a second. I was even going to go back to the station to try to get dry a little bit, to, get myself in order, because I was all over the place. And so I get in my car and I'm like, I'm done. This is it. I don't even want to be here anymore. F this job. This is bullshit. Why did I even come into work? I should have called out sick. Something. I was done. The mistake that I made, guys, is I called my mom. Because I always call her to talk to her about little, things that I want to do, decisions I want to make. And sometimes when you're about to make a big decision, you want to get some feedback before you actually do it. Just to give yourself a little bit more, validation that you're making the right decision. Even though I knew in my heart this is what I wanted to do, I still had that little ounce of fear. So I called my mom, and my mom, of course, old school. So she believes in the 9 to 5. She believes in the whole, oh, it's a great job. You get a pension. It's guaranteed pay, all that shit. So she ended up talking me into staying. She said, one day, this doesn't happen every day. You're going to be fine. Get dry and then get back out there. And then your shift is, when you're busy, the shift goes by fast, this and that. So she ended up talking me into staying. So I ended up staying. So this was maybe a few months later. We're almost to the spot here. We are in Overtown. If you look around here, you'll see this is Overtown, Miami is called. And they've done a good job with like fixing it up and stuff. But it used to be a pretty bad area. It was very dilapidated, a lot of homeless, a lot of Section 8 stuff going on. I'll take you guys around, show you guys, drive around a little bit and show you guys, what the area is like. But for now, this is what it looks like. So, yeah, I didn't let you go, but okay. So, it was a few months later. It was maybe 3 or 4 months later that I actually made the actual decision to leave my job. So, we're going to be there in a couple minutes. Once we're right there in front of the building, we're going to talk about when I left my job. So, yeah, this is Overtown. This is it right here. If you look around, so that building right here, this is a homeless shelter for women. So, women's homeless shelter. If you look there, you'll see a woman walking with her kids. There's a lot of homeless hanging out around here. Yeah, there's a lot of that. So right here, if you look here, you'll see there's some cops parked right out front. Right here, and I actually know two of those cops and another one here. So there must be something happening right now because there's more than one unit. But this is the detail that I used to work. I used to work a detail here. So basically, they always wanted an officer here, parked here, because there was always something going on. These homeless people like to fight. They like to steal each other's stuff. They always got something going on. And I don't even feel safe being in this neighborhood right now, especially with this car. But I'm going to try to make this quick. So let me find a spot to park here real quick. Hopefully we'll be okay. I got my gun on me, so we should be all right for the most part. So I was working this detail here, and I was doing a deal. I was in a business deal with a business partner of mine. And I don't know if I can park over here. Let me see if I can back up right here. So I was doing a business deal with a business partner of mine. And he was in town. He had flew into town, and he said, "Hey, Charlene, this is a go. This is good stuff. This is going to be a great deal, for everybody involved. The only problem is we need you to sign some documents. We got some stuff we got to go over. So can you meet me?" So I said, "Man, I don't think I can because I am at work right now." I said, "I don't get off work for another 2 hours. So, is it okay? Can you wait?" And I can't leave early. I wasn't able to leave early. So I said, "Can you wait?" And he said, "Nah, I'm catching a flight. We really got to get this done. And if we don't get it done, we can't keep you on the deal. Because we need, everybody has to do it. We ought to get this stuff done." So, and I didn't know that day either. They kind of just sprung it on me. And I wasn't aware of all that stuff. So anyway, I said, I can't leave work early. We were short already. So I already knew my supervisor was not going to let me leave early. And I was on this detail, and there was nobody that could cover me. So anyway, I said, "Man, can I meet you halfway? There's nothing I could do." He's like, "Wow, you're going to miss out." And if I missed out on the deal, guys, and I'm not going to go into detail of what the business deal was, but I was going to make a nice piece of change on that deal, a good amount of money on that deal, more than what I make in a year as a cop on that one deal. And this is what I missed out on. So I hung up the phone with him. I was sitting in my police car, just like you see this car right here. That was me. That was me sitting in my police car with my lights on, just chilling outside. And I'm in my police car, and I am livid, you guys. I'm livid. And I'm just like, I gotta go. If I don't make the decision right now, I'm never gonna do it. So I went to call my mom again, and I said, I said, "No, I'm not calling her again, because she's gonna talk me out of it again. So I can't call her again." So I sat in my car, I prayed on it. I said, "Charlene, just step out on faith. You got this. This is okay. You're gonna be all right." And I picked up my phone, called my sergeant. I said, "Hey, Sarge, is it all right? I gotta go to the station. It's an emergency." He didn't even ask what's wrong. He was like, "Oh, okay. I'll send somebody to relieve you. Don't worry about it." So officer comes by, relieves me, and I head to the station. The exact spot that I was just parked in just now in front of the station, that's where I was parked at. So, parked my car, said another prayer before I walked up in there. And I said, "We about to do this." Got out of my car. I walked upstairs to I think it's the fourth floor, or third floor, one of those floors. To admin. It's administration office. And actually, no, before I did that, I didn't even know where to go to like get the process started because I didn't know how to resign. So I actually called admin first and I was like, hey, where do you go if you're trying to resign? And the lady that answered the phone was like, oh, yeah, you come to this floor and you know, talk to this person. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So, so I hung up the phone and I go inside, go to the floor, walk up there. And they were waiting for me. They were waiting because when I walked in, they were all looking at me. It was like 2 ladies and 1 other lady standing. 2 ladies sitting and 1 standing. And they were looking. So I guess when somebody resigns, it's like a kind of a big deal. First of all, they were short officers at the time. So it's like, shit, people leaving? What the hell, you know? So I walk in and they're looking at me and I asked for the lady I'm supposed to talk to and they tell me, oh, okay, go around the corner. Her office is right there. And I walk around the corner to her office and she's standing at the door of her office, like with her hand in her pocket, just looking at me. And I'm like, what the hell? So I walk in and the lady remembered me. Like I hadn't seen her or spoken to her in a while, but she remembered me. And she goes, Miss Cadet, step into my office. And I'm like, okay. So I walk in her office and she's like, is it you that you want to leave? And I said, I guess when I called, they probably said, hey, somebody's trying to leave. You know, we're getting calls about it. So they probably talked about it. So I said, yes, it is. I'm resigning. I'm resigning. And she looked at me and she goes, are you okay? Like, did something happen? Did you have a bad day? You know, whatever it is, we could talk about it. And I'm just like, no, nothing happened. I'm not having a bad day. Ooh, something is happening over there because fire rescue is just pulled up. And yeah, usually when fire rescue pulls up, it's somebody's hurt. So yeah, we'll see. When we get a little bit of action while we're sitting here. So if anything happens, I'll let you guys see. So, I said, no. I said, everything's fine. You know, I'm okay. And she was, did anybody upset you? You know, like she was trying to see what was wrong. And I'm telling her, no, everything is totally fine. I'm fine. I'm ready to, you know, do my own thing. And she goes, what department are you going to? Because usually when officers leave, they usually leave to another department. I said, none. I'm not going to be a cop anymore. And she says, oh, well, what are you going to be doing? Mind you, I don't really like all these questions because I'm like, excuse me, guys. I don't really like all these questions because technically it's none of their business. It's none of their business what I'm going to be doing. So I said, no, I said, I started my own business and I'm going to be doing that full time. And she said, oh, what business is that? What are you doing? Just mad questions. And I'm like, oh, just online, just stuff online. You know, I didn't want to go into detail with that because I don't like talking my business to, you know, people that I worked with. And she said, okay, are you sure? Because, you know, once the chief signs it, that's it. There's no going back. So apparently they give you a pink slip and you have to get all of your supervisors to sign it. So it's your sergeant, your lieutenant, your commander, your major. Like you have to, and it's a long rank of people and you have to get all of them to sign off that, you know, you're gone. And then you have to go to internal affairs, close out any files that you may have open, which I did have one open for something stupid here. Actually, some lady got upset and complained that I called her a liar after we caught her in a lie. And they actually wrote me up for that. And I didn't realize that the case was still open because I signed it when I went into IA, sidebar. When I went into IA to see about the complaint, I said it. Yes, I have body worn. I heard me say it. You heard me say it. Yes, I called her a liar because we caught her in a lie and she was saying she didn't lie when it was a lie. So anyway, they wrote me up for discourtesy, some dumb shit. And I was like, all right, whatever, fuck it. Just sign it and go. I'm thinking that's the end of it. They're going to close the case after that. And like months later, the shit was still open. Have no idea why. Anyway, so I did leave the job with an open case. Something stupid like that, but I still ended up leaving with an open case. So anyway, you have to jump through all these hoops before they let you leave. You got to turn in all your equipment. You got to turn in your gun. And I had heard that you could keep your gun. And I wanted to keep my gun. I was going to pay for it if they wanted me to pay for it, whatever the case. but they didn't let me. They only let you keep your gun when you retire. Basically, I guess they changed the rule or whatever. So I had to give my gun back. I had to give all my equipment, turn in my car. My badge number was 43615. My car was 216234. I still remember all that stuff. It was crazy. And I was ready. So I got all that done. It took me like a good week to get all that done. There's a lot of shit I had to do. A lot of stuff I had to do. And it turns out when I ended up leaving and I went to admin to get, my comp hours, my sick time, accrued time that I had up, I ended up leaving with about almost $14,000 that I ended up leaving with. And officially my last day was the 16th, I think, of August or September of 2022. But I had like 2-3 weeks of sick time, and you can't leave with your sick time. So I had to use it up. So I ended up staying a little bit longer, but I was calling out sick every day to use up that time because I wasn't about to give that time back. So I used it all up. But yeah, guys, this was the last job that I had. Said all my goodbyes. I told all my friends that I was friends with ahead of time when I was leaving. I didn't, blindside them or anything. I let them know, and a lot of people were happy for me. And it was cool. I was cool about that. I was very at peace with my decision. I was very happy. And the first day that I was officially done, I don't think I did anything that day. I think I literally just laid in bed, stared up at the ceiling, and just was like happy. Very happy. Like, I now work for myself again because I've had my own business before, but I left on my own terms. All the pain and suffering and crying and tears and disrespect and mistreatment and unfairness and racism and sexism and all the shit that I dealt with for the last 6 years on this job. I have all of that negative stuff to thank for putting me in a position that I am now, where I make what I used to make in a year, I now make in a month. I now can do whatever I want, whenever I want. There was times on my other jobs where I didn't have a car, and now I have 2 cars and a motorcycle, and almost bought a third one recently as well. And not just any cars, 100,000 plus cars, 200, 300,000 plus cars, and not even blinking. Have my health. I have my family and my friends. I have my mental health, because this job was a lot on your mental health. It wasn't easy. The only thing I miss was helping the people that I was helping when I did have an opportunity to help people, and a handful of my coworkers. I miss seeing them every day and hanging out and talking shit with them and, really digging in the trenches with them. And me leaving the job to pursue my own dreams inspired a lot of them to take on their dreams as well and be like, listen, this ain't it. This job is not it. The people, the stuff they put you through, the politics, it's not it. So it's best to find your own destiny for you to wake up every day to be happy and not just thinking, I got to stay in this job for the next 2, 3, 20, 30 years to get a pension check. And hopefully you make it to that point. You know what I mean? So everything I went through with this job, I have to think that I went through it. And I always say that the charts imitate life, because I had to go through the hard times in order to appreciate the good times. I had to go through the losses and the roller coasters and the ups and downs of trading to really appreciate where I am today, being profitable, helping other people get to being profitable, and maintaining a lifestyle for myself that helps me to wake up every day feeling happy, feeling a sense of purpose, having a sense of direction, and really being glad and hopeful about my future. There are things in my life that I still want, that I'm still striving for, But this was a big thing for me, a big deal. And I don't want people to think that this was my lifelong dream to be a cop. No, I just needed a job. I just needed a job that was going to help me be self-sufficient, to sustain myself, to take care of myself, pay my own bills, have my own place, my own car, my own shit, and not have to live with family anymore, not have a car, not have to be broke all the time. I just wanted to be self-sufficient. And I was basically given this opportunity to have this job, busted my ass through the academy, which was, again, one of the hardest things I've ever done, to get to where I am today and now. It taught me a lot. I learned a lot. I really have a lot to be thankful for and a lot to be grateful for. And even though this, wasn't the best job for me, in hindsight, it turns out that it actually was. Because when you're too comfortable, when you're too good, you're too relaxed, you're too content with where you are in life, it's not going to push you. If you're comfortable in your comfort zone, nothing is going to force you to get out of that comfort zone. Nothing is going to force your back up against the wall where you got to get up out of that situation. I did not, even if it wasn't trading, guys, it would have been anything else. But I was not going to stay in this job and retire after 20, 25 years, 30 years. I couldn't do it. There's no possible way. And there's a lot of things I wanted to do while I was here. I never got the opportunity. I wanted to go to experience a different unit. I wanted to try to be a detective. I love negotiating stuff. I love learning about negotiations, and I like seeing how they get people to admit to things and get information with asking a question a certain type of way. And that type of stuff really intrigues me. So I never got a chance to experience any of that. And why? It's the friends and family culture. So it's very difficult to get opportunity, especially when you're black. When you're black and when you're female, that's a double negative. So excuse my language, but if you ain't sucking and fucking, or if you don't have a mom or a dad or an uncle or somebody who's high ranking or whatever, it's going to be really hard for you. Someone's coming out on the stretcher there. There we go. Yeah, somebody's coming out on the stretcher. Doesn't look serious though. Looks something simple. Someone could say, "Oh, my chest hurts," and fire rescue will come and take them. So there's a lot of regrets that I have. A lot of things I wish I would have got an opportunity to do. Because to make it better for me. And there's no saying that I never would have gotten those opportunities, but I know it wasn't going to be easy. It wasn't going to be easy, and it is what it is. So I wasn't going to be sucking and fucking to get around. That's not my style. And no shade to anybody that does do that. You get it. You get it how you live. To each his own. But the way I get down and the way I move, I'm not that type of chick. So I wasn't cut out for it. I really wasn't. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's it with this job. These are the 3 jobs. There were some other ones that I could have, talked to you guys about, but I think those 3 were like the main ones that had pretty good, story times to them. But, I just hope that this video serves to inspire. It serves to show that no matter where you are in life or what you got going on, there's always better. You can strive for better. You can strive to be whatever you want. There's more to your job. And next day, you don't have to quit your job to be a full-time trader, but you can work towards it. You can start building multiple streams of income. You can look into other business ideas. You can, just use your job. Use where you are now as a stepping stone. Use it as a means to an end. Use it as a means to an end, because that's all it is. If it's not your passion, and it's not like I love this, I don't care, this is what I want to do. If that's not the case, you got work to do. So every time your boss yells at you, every time you get called, you get fired, or every time you have a bad day, or whatever the case may be, it don't matter what it is. Use it as motivation, because every time somebody disrespected me, somebody mistreated me, I had a bad day, But every negative, bad thing that happened on this job pushed me to pushing myself on the charts. Supervisor pissed me off, I got to studying. Wanted to call out, couldn't, I got to studying. Didn't want to work overtime to make some extra money, I got to studying. Every little thing that I did not like about my life, it motivated me to get on the charts. I felt underestimated. Nobody respected me. I got on the charts. Because I knew if I could take this and do something with it, do something that a lot of people cannot do, make something out of it, I'm going to be untouchable. I'm going to be untouchable. You can't touch me. I'm so high up, you can't touch me. Everybody that used to look down on me, now I see myself above them. And that's not to say I think I'm better than anybody, but you never know who you're underestimating. You never know what somebody can be tomorrow. You never know. So you give everybody respect. You treat everybody kindly. You help people as much as you can, because what you put out in the universe is in turn what you're going to get back. So no matter how rough and tough things got for me, I never forgot what my ultimate goal was. And that was to get the hell up out of here. And I did that. And now I can live my life on my own terms. And if I lost everything tomorrow, I would not be crawling back to this job. I would do anything but this work. Even if they said, oh, don't worry about it, cadet, come on back. Here you go. Here's your gun, here's your badge. See you at work tomorrow. Nope. I don't want it. Keep it. I'd rather cut grass. I'll babysit. I'll sell ice cream. I'll sell cupcakes. I'll go paint fire hydrants if I have to. I'll go pick up shit on the side of the street. So use this as motivation, guys, to get to where you want to be. Because if I could do it, somebody who was working dead-end jobs, didn't have a car, sleeping on an air mattress at her family's house, being talked down to, ain't have no money, ain't have shit, to where I am today. To where I am today, guys. From where I came from. And this was not that long ago. This was not that long ago that I was in those situations, guys. I promise you, if I could do it, you can absolutely do it too. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do it. Push yourself. Don't think about what people are talking about or saying about you, or don't worry about none of that shit. Put your head down, get on them charts, and study. Because, like I say, charts imitate life. If you're unprofitable now and you're struggling with your trading, I keep losing, it's only one or two things you have to turn around or tweak around that could have made that losing trade now a winning trade. Same thing with life. If you made a mistake or you did something over here, if you would have did things just a little differently over here, over there, the outcome could have been different. Learn from it, but don't let it break you. Use it to make you stronger. Use it to help you to be motivated tomorrow. So you get up tomorrow and not let that setback break you down. Or you can keep going and keep striving for whatever it is you're going for. So this video has been long overdue. And it's very long. I'm sorry. I told you guys to tuck in the beginning. But yeah, this is life. This is life. And I don't know what the future holds for me going forward. But I can tell you that whatever life throws my way, I will be able to handle it. I'll be able to handle it. Have faith in God. Have faith in yourself. And it's that one or two things that you do differently that can make all the difference. This one skill changed my entire, not only outlook on life, but changed my life as a whole. Nothing is off limits for me now. The world is literally my oyster. Every single door is opening for me right now. Every single income stream is open for me right now. Things that I could never do if I was still a cop, I can now do now. So I hope you guys got a lot out of this video. Please please comment below. I'm anxious and curious to see what you guys have to say about it. This is a day in the life with Charlene FX, your favorite female trader. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace and love. I think they're giving out food or something here at this shelter. This is it, guys. Very sad. This is the homeless shelter. Very sad. And the messed up part is, right? You go about 2 or 3 blocks on over. Right up there. And there's nothing but expensive ass condos right there on Biscayne Boulevard, downtown Miami. Crazy ass, hella expensive condos. Just a few blocks over. Whole different life. From this to that. Way down there. Unprofitable, losing trades. And if you try a little bit harder, make a couple of different decisions, you can be in one of those high rises right up there. The difference between this type of life and that type of life is decisions. That's it. 1 or 2 decisions. Crazy.